Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano ADA. So here for ADA, we could still, I'm showing you the bullish count first, but then also the bearish count because we still need to be very much, we need to have that on the radar still. And also the bullish count isn't very reliable. As I said, above 42 cents, we can still be carefully bullish, but overall, this, what we see here with ADA is just bear market behavior. There isn't really anything that you can read into this too much. The key levels are definitely here, the resistance area up there that needs to be broken to have more confidence in this chart and to have more confidence that we are indeed going higher and breaking out and have a more bullish setup here. That is the range between 54.9 and 55.7 cents. Yeah, and then we would need to take out that high here as well at around about 60 cents. And to the downside, of course, the 42 cent level. Everything that happens here in between is really just a bear market mess, which is just sideways movement. And as long as we're holding above 42 cents, yeah, I mean, we can be carefully bullish because the bullish scenario is still very much valid. But I said already before that I think better for the chart would actually be a lower low. Just purely because this is a bit of a mess. It's not a disaster, yeah. But it's also not great. Yeah, and the problem is the longer this sideways movement takes, the more difficult it will be to use this as a foundation for new all-time highs. So, I mean, I'm getting more and more leaned towards the idea that we're also here going to have another low. Strictly speaking, I said I won't make the bearish count the primary as long as we stay above 42 cents. But, you know, my Bitcoin count is also bearish now. Slightly, of course, you know, because we need to allow for both possibilities. We are still very much in an area of uncertainty. And I encourage everyone, take a look at my latest Bitcoin video. I talked a little bit about mindset again, talked about how the Elliott waves can help you and why there's always a bullish and a bearish count and how to manage risk a little bit, you know, sort of this is so important in the current time. But this is overall just a mess. And yeah, of course, you know, we could say that this here was a wave 1. You know, we moved down in an A. This should be an overshooting wave B, even though this can also push a bit higher still. And then we would come down in a wave C, still into the region between 42.4 and 44.3 cents before we then move higher in a wave 3. But this is not, to be honest, this is not very reliable until we really see a move above this resistance area. This could develop into numerous different possibilities here, and I think it's just important to understand next possible moves here. But there is no high confidence. No high confidence count here really. Not on the bullish side anyway. What I would, you know, if I wanted to trade this, I would really wait until it pulls back to near 42 cents. So basically into this area. You know, if this happens straight away, or if we see first a move up and then come down, doesn't really matter. But for me, yeah, we're now in the middle of a range, so there's not much really you can do unless you're really just accumulating long term. But the key level here is the 42 cent level. That would be an area where it might be worth accumulating at least carefully, because as you know, there is still a potential to move down to 30 cents overall. So yeah, it's just a bit of about waiting really how this plays out. Not high confidence here, not highly reliable, and this can just morph into anything really in this sideways mess. And then we have the bearish count. And with the bearish count, there's basically a couple of possibilities here with that bearish count where we talked about that before. Let me take you through the main bearish count, which I currently have on the chart here. That this here, the move down from 59.5 cents was a wave 1. We then hit our target in the wave W area. We came down and we're now in the move up in a wave Y, which would eventually complete the wave 2. At the moment, my view is in this wave Y, we could see and say that we have reached here. So the wave Y itself is a 3-wave move. We could say that this here was a wave A, which is in itself a 5-wave move. That this here was possibly the wave B, and we're now moving higher in a wave C. And overall, ideally, this wave 2 stays ideally below 55.9 cents. Yeah, that is the 78.6% fib level. That would be ideal. A move above that would make a wave 2 unreliable because it's just tracing too much. It could still be possible, but you know, if we take a look at the Fibonacci extensions and say, okay, this was A, this B, then yeah, I mean, the 1-to-1 ratio would take us a little bit above that level. But as long as we just sort of come down straight away, it would work out still in terms of that WXY. I think that's fine. We can also use another method to measure the target in that we take the length of the wave W and look at where we would be landing here. Okay, no, that wouldn't work. It doesn't give us a viable target because the 1-to-1 ratio. Oh yeah, no, it does. The 1-to-1 ratio would be 54.1 cents. So that is another target here. Now this is one count. In this scenario would move still higher. I think that would be possible if Bitcoin, for example, breaks above 21.9K. Definitely. The other possibility is that this is not a wave 2 but a wave E. Yeah, I talked about that possible scenario also in previous videos. At the moment we simply don't know which of these is playing out, but the thing is the bearish counts are pretty much in line. So that means it doesn't really matter. In this scenario, we'd count this as an A, B, C, D, this as a wave E, and all the wave E must not move above the wave C. So it should not, or it must not move above 59.5. If it does, it's not a triangle anymore. So one possible target for a wave E, because it's the alternative count, one possible target for a wave E is the 61.8% length of the wave C. So we can calculate that as well by measuring the length of the wave C and then looking at the 61.8 level. Yeah, and here that would also take us to 54.2 cents. So that is a key level. I'll highlight that on the chart, because that was the other target, the WXY length, wasn't it, that I just showed you in the other scenario. So 54.2, 54.3 is certainly a level to keep an eye on where we could move down from. Yeah, certainly. Okay, and that's currently my update about ADA. A bit of a messy chart. Yeah, certainly a chart where I think there are other charts that can be used better at the moment for trading. So just be a bit careful with this one. But overall, yeah. In the bearish count, we would expect not to break above necessarily the 54.3 cent level, yeah, or not to go above 55.9. Yeah, if we do that, it should happen only briefly. If it is more substantial, probably something more bullish is going on here. Okay, and that's my update about ADA. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.